And I'd like to firstly just thank quickly TD Bank for their support, which helps us support events like this and really reach people and far-reaching in the community. The new Business Resilience series focuses on the broad variety of industry sectors thriving in Brooklyn and brings together local founders, entrepreneurs, and established industry experts for conversation on founding stories, business growth, and the future of business as the city continues on its path to recovery. But we're really excited today to launch this series with a session on a very important topic: building resiliency in Black businesses in Brooklyn. And doing this, of course, during Black History Month has meaning for us as an organization, and certainly supporting our Black businesses in downtown Brooklyn has been a very, very important goal, especially in the past few years when it's become so obvious that we could be doing more. I'm really pleased to be joined by our panelist, Michelle Cadore, who's co-founder of The Spot, New York City. And I would also like to say a personal friend of the partnership, and of course, one of my board members. And as one of my board members, she's one of my bosses here in downtown Brooklyn. Keith Forrest, who at NY Beauty Suites is in charge of community engagement, marketing, and PR. They've just opened here on Willoughby Street, and we are so looking forward to NY Beauty Suites really flourishing and really, staking a claim on Willoughby Street as a major new force. And Delroy Levy, who's the co-founder and creative director at Likkle More Jerk. And I can't say more about our very, very strong relationships with everybody in DeKalb Market and how important bringing entrepreneurs to DeKalb Market has really, I think, changed the spirit of downtown Brooklyn in the last few years. So this is a great panel for us, for me personally, and I'm thrilled that you're joining us. And then I'd really love to just turn this over to our moderator. Monique T. Marshall is the host and founder of Black to Business podcast, which is based right here in Brooklyn. And I couldn't think of a better person to moderate this panel. So over to you, Monique.
Thank you, Regina. Thank you so much. And thank you all for having me moderate with so many amazing entrepreneurs and businesswomen and men on the panel. So I just want to share a little bit about me before I dive into the panel. I am, like Regina said, the founder of Black to Business, which is an organization that helps aspiring Black entrepreneurs turn their knowledge, skills, and expertise into a business. In addition to that, I do have the Black to Business podcast, which is an educational podcast where we have different Black entrepreneurs in the community come on and speak about their area of expertise. So I'm so excited to continue to do the work and be here today. So I want to just go ahead and dive into the panel with a question for all of the panelists. I want to ask you all to tell me a little bit about what it is that you do in your business and specifically why you chose downtown Brooklyn for your business. Anybody can take that question, but I want to hear from everyone.
Basically, what I do is I do external affairs and public relations for New York Beauty Suites. New York Beauty Suites grew out of Brooklyn Commons, and it's headed by an entrepreneur named Joanne Briere, who saw a need in the community to provide services for beautypreneurs and health and wellnesspreneurs who were shut out of being claimed as essential workers. They didn't have any business, they didn't have any place to go. Joanne, being that she was in the real estate business, was able to provide them a space, and she staked her whole claim in that. In doing that, she put her money forward, her savings, and provided New York and opened up New York Beauty Suites right in the middle of COVID. The first suite was opened in Flatbush in 2021, and we followed that with our new location at 81 Willoughby Street in downtown Brooklyn, which we just opened in January.
Awesome. I love it.
Did I answer your question?
Yes. And yes, in downtown Brooklyn. Why downtown Brooklyn?
Well, downtown Brooklyn, we we saw a need. The beauty suites really kicked off in our Flatbush location, and Joanne had a waiting list of individuals that really wanted to get in. One of our models has always been convenient location, flexible office space and convenient locations. And as you know, our Willoughby location is only a few steps away from metro area.
Yeah.
The beauty suites cater to a growing population of female entrepreneurs. If you have it, the majority of them are extremely young and new into starting businesses on their own. A lot of them are mothers. So having a convenient location in the heart of downtown Brooklyn is a win-win situation for us and for them as well.
Awesome. I love it.
You want to go, Del?
Right, fine. Okay, so again, my name is Delroy Levy. What do I do in my business? After a long, rewarding law enforcement career, I decided to enter into my business full time. I've been in the franchise business for many, many years. And in 2017, I started Likkle More Jerk. And the idea was to model this after the franchise concept. We found this location in downtown Brooklyn. And as a matter of fact, I was drawn to Brooklyn. Brooklyn, I thought, was the perfect place to start the business. It is a very growing, dynamic area. And the location at City Point, I thought, made perfect sense for us. It was a food hall. I describe it to many people as Las Vegas, but without the slot machines, but with just food. And so being there now for almost 4 or 5 years, we found this to, I couldn't have found a better place. And so I'm very excited to be there. In terms of what do I do there? Well, the buck stops with me. I kind of handle everything from, making sure all the menu items are prepared daily, the customers are happy, banking is getting done, bills are being paid. And these are the things you kind of do when you're in business, when you're, a small entrepreneur.
Mm-hmm.
Love it.
Love. Hey everyone, I am Michelle Cadore, the owner of Yes I Am Clothing, which is designed to inspire and empower, and The Spot NYC, which is a unique fashion boutique located in downtown Brooklyn. I started my clothing brand back in 2016, so I have a background in public administration, working for the Department of Small Business Services, and nonprofit organization working for Bed-Stuy Restoration and JP Morgan Chase as an analyst. So I have a little varied background in business and finance. And I decided to transition into full-time entrepreneurship in 2019, just 4 months before the pandemic. But we started, The Spot to help other creatives of color to gain space, access to visibility, and economic opportunities. So in my role, I am responsible for, I'm the business manager, and I'm also, usually in store for operations, but I'm responsible for paying everybody, responsible for, creating programming and just making sure that our business scales up and, grows according to our 5-10-year plans that we have. Why downtown Brooklyn? I am a Brooklyn girl, born and raised. All right. I went to Brooklyn Tech, just a few blocks away. Fulton Mall has always been a part of my history, and it's an honor to be serving on the board, with Regina and everyone involved, because this is home for me. Brooklyn Tabernacle is church for me. City Tech was a college for me. And so why not downtown Brooklyn? This is the Mecca for, fashion, the Mecca for business. It is the best part of Brooklyn to me, so I love that we are here. We started in Dumbo, but we always would pop up in City Point for their fad markets throughout our 2.5 years. And so to finally be in City Point is such a blessing, and definitely a game changer for our business.
I love it. I love it. Thank you all for sharing that. And I want to segue into, so the past 2 years have really changed our idea of the physical workspace and just running a storefront business. I would love to hear from you all. How have you all been able to adapt to these changes?
I'll take a crack at that first. So quite naturally, I'm a restaurant, so I have to be in a storefront.
Mhm.
There's just not enough business out there for deliveries and catering and so forth and so on. But the mass of the people and where you're going to make your money is through interactions with people, and you do that through a storefront. And so the pandemic has definitely affected us drastically. Of course, with the quarantines, it's limited number of people that come into your store, but now that people are now getting out again, what we've done to ensure people's safety is put in contactless, systems like our mobile app, give people the opportunity to order ahead, just come in, pick it up and go. Also, self-ordering kiosks, we've installed those. And, so we start to promote ourselves more so now on delivery apps, as well as, try to promote the in-store contactless points where people can order in order to keep our business thriving and keep people coming in the door without being afraid of, being exposing themselves.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. For my business, so as I mentioned, we moved into City Point in probably October, and 4 months later in March, our store was closed down, and we were closed for 6 months because we are located in a mall. We were not able to open earlier like other retail shops. So after the first weekend of laying in bed and figuring out, trying to ask the Lord why, I had to start figuring out how to, pivot. And so I focused on our e-commerce. We always had a website, and so we drove traffic to our website with Facebook ads and marketing. We partnered with Afterpay and Shop Essence so that we can expand our visibility online and Amazon. And then we decided to scale up our custom printing business. And, we had one-on-one shop throughs with customers. We were able to do curbside pickup, and we had a lot of things in place. And then of course my partners, MasterCard, they blessed us with the Digital Doors program, and so we were able to really make sure that our e-commerce was secure and have a way to reach out to our audience through dedicated Salesforce services, as well as our QuickBooks, and being able to, just focus on strategy and growth. So by the time we returned in September, thankfully we returned to previous numbers, which was great to see. And during 2021, we decided to launch a Black Creatives and Culture Market, another revenue stream, and also another opportunity to expand the availability of space to creatives of color, so that those who are not just in our shop are also able to gain visibility to the community. And we started with 15 brands last Black History Month, and during Juneteenth, we had about 75 creatives involved. And this coming weekend, we have another 75 creatives involved for, a big event. So we just found ways to make things happen. And then we also launched our Brooklynish brand, where whether you're Brooklynish or on your Brooklynish, it's universal. And so we're focused on getting that place into iconic retail stores like Foot Locker and Barclays Brooklyn Fanatics.
Love it. Love it. Keith, did you want to add anything there?
Sure. Michelle mentioned a key word, pivoting. Basically, New York Beauty Suites was actually born in the middle of COVID. Again, Joanne saw a need to help fellow beautypreneurs launch their careers. So one of the things that that we learned from the launch of New York Beauty Suites is that this new wave of beautypreneurs is quite different in the way that they do business as per se your regular beauty shops or stuff of that nature. They're very tech savvy. They rely a lot on social media to promote themselves. So basically just providing them a safe space, clean space where they can conduct their business and rely on and book their appointments accordingly was a win-win situation for us. So COVID provided the opportunities for us to really look at models, reinventing models, and looking at smart tech ways of helping beautypreneurs and helping preneurs in general launch businesses. And one of the things that Joanne has been good at is being a community builder. So we were able to, there were a lot of resources out there that the girls, for the most part, the majority of our beautypreneurs are female, weren't able to get. So being able to build on the model that we had for Brooklyn Commons, and insert some of the concepts into New York Beauty Suites to assist them in becoming full-fledged entrepreneurs was a really win-win situation for us, and a win-win situation for them. But it just showed us that, you know, there's a new way of doing business, and the beautypreneurs are really just showing us new concepts of promoting themselves and doing business, whether it's social media or utilizing technology to promote themselves and start businesses.
I love that. And I agree, like the pivoting and then the new way of business and of course, social media. So going into that, I want to talk about, I'm pretty sure entrepreneurs are on the call listening, how to stand out and how to maintain that foot traffic. So Michelle, I know you mentioned like the spot, just some of the ways that you've been able to make the business stand out and maintain that foot traffic. And if you can share any marketing tools or strategies that were proven to be the most effective for you all.
Absolutely. So first and foremost, I definitely have to thank Downtown Brooklyn because Downtown Brooklyn Partnership, they were very instrumental in making sure that we were visible in the community, as well as City Point partnering with us and making sure that we had opportunities to showcase what we have in our shop and just showcase what we're doing. For practical tools rather, I leaned into online advertisements, as I mentioned, because realistically, we have our audience at our fingertips, right? And especially during this pandemic, everyone has their phone in their hands and they're scrolling with their thumbs, just, on Instagram or Facebook, etc. And so we tapped into our Facebook and Instagram advertisements, and we made sure to, put money behind promoting the brand, for one. Two, I would often apply to grants. In my network, I have wonderful people who will share grants with me. So we were able to achieve certain successes with grants like 1010 Wins, or She Can Thrive by McBride Sisters, Bank of America Spotlight with Bryant Park, and Downtown Brooklyn and Brooklyn Chambers had nominated us to the Attorney General for the Goldman Sachs 10K SB program, which we completed last year. And that was also a game changer. Thank you, Regina. That was a game changer because, our network, we're now part of the 10,000 small businesses, and we are able to put ourselves in front of a lot of powerful players. And we also just continue through, our customer service in store, word of mouth. People love, the experience that they have in our shop. We help people online through customer service and they recommend us. So it's a combination of different tools. And of course, speaking engagements such as these also help to get our names out there. So that's, some of the things that we've been doing. And I encourage every entrepreneur to take advantage of Facebook's free marketing expert that they have right now, where you get 60 days of a free marketing expert. And if it's productive, every time that you have a meeting, I'll just learn it restarts another 60 days. So I pretty much have my expert for life as long as we're doing well.
I love that. Thank you for sharing those resources. And so anybody else want to quickly add? Keith, I know you have a lot of marketing experience. So any tools that those who are listening can be beneficial for them in their journeys?
Basically, just doing a lot of research. SBS has been a really good resource for me. And as Michelle mentioned, Brooklyn Chamber of Commerce has been an amazing resource as well. I'm a part of their committee, and hosting those monthly meetings and networking with individuals, even virtually, has been helpful to me. It's been helpful to some of the things that we've done at Brooklyn Commons and the Brooklyn in the New York Beauty Suites as well. And Just networking. The partnership, Brooklyn Downtown Partnership, has been extremely helpful. Regina has came to our ribbon cutting ceremony and basically opened the door for us, and provided a lot of resources for us, whether it's through Gina or Ariana, helping us and considering us for doing programming with them. So it's just a matter of networking, and networking looks different now than what it used to. It's not actually going to a place. There's a lot of webinars that are there that you can do networking with, and resources that you can tap into.
Love that. Delroy, do you have anything to add? I know you talked about the contact list and all of those things. So anything that you all use to help you stand out and keep that foot traffic?
Well, everyone has also already touched on the key to the success in a lot of our business, and that's through networking. Standing out in your business, having a niche that makes you unique and different from everyone else within your sector. Being neighborly is very, very important. Michelle and I, we're constantly collaborating with one another. Me and Downtown Brooklyn Partnership constantly collaborate with one another, even throughout the pandemic. Other trade groups within your area. It's important to network. That is probably one of the most important things in the success of growing your business and making your business stand out, and also continue that foot traffic going in a time like this.
Love it.
I just want to add one more thing, Monique. Also content development. I mean, getting your story out there. I'm big on sharing stories, and there's so many that we can share. I can share with you about New York Beauty Suites, but we're really big at making sure that those stories are told, that we're sharing them across our digital platforms, whether it's social media, IG, or on Facebook, but getting stories out there so people can relate. I mean, we just went through a major global pandemic where people are hurting and they're looking for solutions. And it's good that when they hear a story about a 21-year-old entrepreneur that's starting their own therapy practice, those are encouraging stories that really resonate with people, and help them upstart their jobs and upstart their careers as well.
Love it.
I would also, sorry,
Just go ahead.
I would say, as you get coverage as a business, once you start getting coverage from, different press or bloggers, etc., back to networking, building those relationships. So we have a lot of great bloggers like Brooklyn Mavens, Black Owned Brooklyn, Gotham's, the magazine, Time Out New York, etc., Pulse. All of these people, they will come, News 12, what have you. Whenever we get connected with them, if they come to cover an event, we make sure we keep them on our Rolodex, and we keep them abreast of what's coming up next, so that we can always make sure that they're, staying abreast of what's happening. And we always have a contact that we can share information with, hoping to get more of the word out for, upcoming events that, we host in the shop. So I think that it's important that you build a list of press, as well as and cross promoting. So when they do promote you, you promote the article, and so you keep that relationship going.
Thank you for that, Michelle. And speaking of, I know you all have given a lot of resources, and just speaking on resilience in business, and even more resources, I want to talk about MWBE certification, because Keith, I know you work with helping entrepreneurs become MWBE certified, which stands for Minority and Women-Owned Business Enterprises. So I want to kind of dive into what exactly it is, and also the kind of contracts and incentives that come along with it, and the criteria.
Okay. Minority Women in Business Enterprises is basically businesses that meet where a business has 51% minority ownership, whether that's a woman is in charge, or an African American, Asian, or other ethnic group is in charge of the general business practices. It started in 1969 of all places, under of all people, Richard Nixon actually launched the original programs, and it's in 47 out of 50 states have MWBE programs in them. In New York, it's operated on a statewide level by the Economic Development Center for New York, Empire State Development of New York City, New York State, and it's also operated under New York City Small Business Services locally. The certification is it used to be very cumbersome back in the day, so a lot of people didn't apply for it because it required you to give your first child and a lot of blood and all kinds of stuff. But since then, especially under the de Blasio administration, it has been streamlined. You actually can go online and finish it in one setting, basically. And some of the benefits is that it allows you to be part of a registry of MWBEs, which allows corporations and city agencies here in New York, is most of the city agencies, to look you up for a particular service or a particular item that you might be able to procure for the city, and make a bid on it. And again, under the de Blasio administration, he made a lot of headway with making it easier and also bring a lot of attention to it. He had a goal of having over 19,000 MWBs registered by the end of his term. He came pretty close to meeting that, and he also put in over $95 billion into the program to ensure that minority women in business enterprises are part of city agencies. And in 2014, under his administration and under Scott Stringer, Controller Scott Stringer, they started a grading process, a lettering grading process that graded some of the city agencies for their participation in the program. And it basically was a matter of shaming them and making them feel obligated to be a part of the a part of it, and being a solution and not a hindrance to the program. And another thing too, they raised the limit. It used to be they raised the limit of non-competitive, because a lot of the MWBE process is through RFPs, where you have to bid on the process, and that is extremely cumbersome. But they made the limit for non-competitive, meaning you don't have to do an RFP, you don't have to bid. They raised it up to 500,000, I believe. So that means that you can go to a city agency under 500,000 that if they're doing a contract or looking for a procurement up to $500,000. Based on your relationship with that, they can actually give you a job or a program through that. So those are some of the benefits that you have. And again, it's a networking situation. It's nothing that's going to come to you easy. You have to build relationships with some of the city agencies. There's places like Brooklyn Chamber of Commerce that has an MWBE committee, which I'm a part of, that provides monthly meetings, and also provides networking situations. They're actually having a Black History Month celebration today. I'm glad to announce that I'm one of the honorees. That'll be being honored today at 6 o'clock, and it'll be on the web as well.
Congratulations.
Thanks.
That's nice. And you kind of mentioned it is like a networking situation. I want to follow up with that. People who are listening are possibly interested. How would you suggest that they prepare?
Basically, it's more streamlined. They only before you had to have 5 years in business. You had to have all your tax information that says that you were 5 years in business. Now it's less than a year in business. One tax season stating that you're in business. Well, 1 year and 1 to 2 years in business, and one tax year stating that you're in business. For some of them, they can't. I think New York City, they actually can streamline you. For instance, if you are in contact with a agency and they want to procure your services or goods, they can actually streamline you and walk you through the process much quicker with being less than a year in practices. But again, one of the best ways to find out more information about it is to go to, if you're in New York City, to go to SBS NYC. I shared information with Gina, and Gina probably can share it with the screen. They have a hotline number as well as an email address that you can contact them directly.
Okay, thank you. And Michelle or Delroy, are either of you certified, and talk about your experiences?
I am actually not certified for the reasons that he said previously. And working at SBS, you would think that I was certified, but just to add to what Keith said, you can also go to New York City Business Solutions, which is located on 9 Bond Street, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
So we have business managers there that are part of SBS that can help you get certified, or go right online, New York Business Express, right? I think that's the other website, NYC Business Express, to start your certification. But I will be getting certified because, you know, I know there's some custom printing business that's needed, and also teaching the children. So I'm here for that. I'm here for it.
So like Michelle, I'm not certified, but Keith, I want to thank you for this information, because, you know, I didn't become certified because of all the reasons that you said. And I've always been looking for a lot of government contracts, and one of the hindrances to not getting those is not being certified. So now I know that's something I need to get on top of, like, today.
In addition, there's also they also widen the net as well. You can also be certified as a veteran. You can also be certified as a woman, and you can also be certified as an LGBTQ member as well. So, you know, the net has been widened. There's tons of opportunities for everybody to take it part in the pie. There's also initiatives that they started. They started the BNYC, which is the Black Entrepreneurs New York City, and the We in NYC, which is a Woman Entrepreneurial New York City programs, which basically has goals and initiatives to bring more women and more African Americans into the forefront of being certified as the MWBE members.
Yeah. Yes, that was started by Greg Bishop, my old commissioner at SBS, I believe, and now Ken is the person that's heading it up. But they spoke at our Juneteenth event last year. BNYC, Ken came and spoke, and it's really a powerful network to be a part of. So, you know, I would encourage everyone to join and just be on the list.
They have a mentor program too, where they align you with individuals that are and that has a similar business to what you're thinking about going into, to assist you in getting your certification, and also assist you of going through the web of finding opportunities within MWB platforms.
Yeah, and they just opened up, I think they just started this, but it's an online list or directory of small businesses. I feel like they sent it out like maybe 2-3 weeks ago. So, you know, if you identify as a Black-owned business, you can sign up to have your business listed so that you can be discovered.
Yeah. I think that's a part of, you know, people building and expanding their businesses. But like Keith said, the process is like so cumbersome that it deters a lot of people. So I'm glad that they've streamlined it. And I think that that's why a lot of us don't get that access to funding, because it becomes, we feel it's too much. So I want to talk about how to approach the issues of securing funding, and what are some tips for approaching investors and resources that have been beneficial for you all. And Delroy, I would love to hear your perspective.
All right. Okay. So one of the first considerations, if you're looking to secure financing for a business, is what are your business needs, whether you're in business already or you're starting, it's a new startup. Are you looking to expand your staff? Are you looking to expand to another location? Or are you looking to purchase new equipment? Regardless of whatever the purpose is, you're going to need cash in order to fund these operations. In terms of where you seek funds, or what stage of the process you are in your entrepreneurial endeavors. Being in the franchise business for many years, securing finances was not a big issue for me, because I was already involved with a large established corporation like Dunkin' Donuts or Subway or whatever you have it. So going to the SBA, going to a preferred lender that the franchisor had steered us to was usually not an issue. But for a small startup like in Likkle More Jerk, I just started now, My first consideration was, the scope of the business, how large was it going to be, and how much money I was going to need in order to get it going. So my first consideration was, how much cash do I have on hand? One of the things you don't want to do, you don't want to strap yourself up in debt in a small business. You don't know what the revenue stream is going to be like yet. You don't know whether or not you're going to be able to carry that debt service. So I would say that's probably one of the first considerations that you should take into account, is whether or not you can self-fund the business. If not, you can also consider, who's my landlord? Maybe have the landlord have a vested interest in your business by giving you some concessions, by maybe contributing to some of the build out. If the place costs, let's say $150,000, $200,000 to build out, let the landlord kick in a little something like that. Try to negotiate something like that in your lease with the landlord. For minority businesses, people in economic development zones, the SBA is probably a good place to seek out financing. The SBA, sometimes they're a little bit more liberal in their requirements for funding. And the other thing you can look at, again, I speak to the food business, you're going to need equipment. A lot of times your vendor, whoever you're purchasing equipment for, do have preferred lenders that they can steer you to. Rather than purchasing equipment, you can lease the equipment, and the financing is secured by the equipment. So that's usually a good route to go as well. Credit unions is a good place to seek out financing if you're a member of a credit union, especially here in downtown Brooklyn. There's a number of credit unions. If you're a member, again, that's a good place to seek financing. As a last resort, your commercial bank. Try to develop a relationship with your local bank and see whether or not, they'll have an appetite to invest in a business like yours. Crowdsource funding, something that a lot of people are turning to nowadays. I've never used it, but I'm hearing a lot about it. So maybe that's a good, place to seek out, financing opportunities, if you have the time and, the diligence to go ahead and, look into that. So those are pretty much the ABCs in terms of how to secure financing for your business.
Thank you. Anybody else want to add to that? How do you all approach issues of securing funding and some of the tips for approaching investors? If not.
Sure. So for us, we bootstrapped our way to here up until 2020 or 2019. Then we started approaching or applying for grants, starting with Shea Moisture. And then I mentioned some of the others. What I have done in the past is, what I've done recently, aside from grants, I look at CDFIs, community development, is that correct? Community development financial institutions, because CDFIs tend to be a little bit more friendly to small businesses. So you definitely want to tap into your local CDFI. As Del mentioned, SBA as well. SBA has been super helpful to especially small businesses during this pandemic. Unfortunately, we're going through a pandemic, but it's been no better time for a small business to experience, this outpouring of funds to help the business, as well as there are so many programs set up right now, especially if you're a minority-owned business or a woman-owned business, grant programs. So I know like my partners at MasterCard has a program about $500 million worth for, women of color and women in general. Goldman Sachs has a program that they just rolled out a few days ago in order to give Black women opportunities for it's like a 12-week program with a $2,000 stipend. There are other, there are so many grants out there for women of color. That's one. So you have to do the research. Then you have I Fund Women. That's a crowdfunding platform where you can, set up a video about your business and generate some support. There's also, I had another one in mind, but there are other platforms like Hello Alice that tells you about what new grants are coming out. And I'm sure I have others in mind that have just escaped me, but there are plenty of resources out there. You just have to do the due diligence. I know Shea Moisture, that's what I was gonna say. Shea Moisture had a $150,000 VC or seed investment type of fund where you had to apply, and it's like your next millionaire, the next millionaire, Black millionaire type of situation. But you just have to look out for these things. So the other thing is VC funding. If you're interested in getting VC funding to scale up your business, one thing we learned at Goldman Sachs is definitely you must know your numbers. You know, you must be able to show your growth and be able to communicate that to whoever the lender is or whoever the VC investor is. So a VC funder that I know pretty well is Fairless Fund. They focus on women-owned businesses and minority-owned businesses. But then you also have Harlem Capital, and then you have another VC fund that's ran by, I think her name is Arlen. I can't remember her last name, and I cannot remember the name of the fund, the venture, but you have her and venture capital. So there are plenty of opportunities out there. You just have to make sure that you position your business in a way that you're showing growth and scalability, and you're showing that you, not just, you know, in terms of opening spaces, but in terms of financial growth as well, and that you have projections for your future, and you have strategic steps to take yourself to the next level. And then people will want to invest in that if you want an investor. If not, you can do like Delroy, who may have an investor, but you can do like LLC, series LLCs, etc. Expand with the community, where you can expand your business and have another, person that is like-minded as you and wants to continue. Like if someone wants to continue with the Spot Atlanta, I will do a series LLC so that they can get involved, and we'll expand that way.
Thank you. Thank you. There was a lot of resources. Thank you. So today's conversation has been about building Black-owned businesses in Brooklyn, and I want to talk about any gaps. So are there any gaps in available resources that you all think would make a difference in the growth of small Black-owned businesses?
I'll say, I think the major gap for Black-owned small businesses has been visibility, media, and we're seeing some of that happening. We're seeing some, influences right now where people are gaining, like I can say for myself, for my business, I was fortunate enough to have a national commercial, and I see the difference that it makes when you have visibility. So I think that if we have more media companies or more companies step up to help small businesses to gain visibility and, share their brand with their audiences, I think that would totally make a huge difference. And I know Comcast Rise, so another resource, Comcast Rise has much of a scholarship. It's like they have a scholarship program where they are either giving you like a digital makeover, or they can even help you to develop a commercial. You have to apply for it, and a lot of people are getting through, but that makes a big difference. And especially Facebook, they have Meta Elevate. So this is for Black-owned businesses. You can join Meta Elevate, where any issue you have with your Facebook business ad account, etc., you can elevate those issues to Facebook employees in that group. But as I mentioned, you also have access to a Facebook marketing expert for free for 60 days to help you to expand your reach in targeting your audience, and they'll teach you how to successfully create ads and such, so that you can gain more brand awareness, and of course more conversions to sales. So that's where the gap is, marketing. And so when we get allies and partners that can help us to develop better marketing strategies and have money behind marketing, we will be in a better position.
I agree for 100%. Coming from a marketing background and a PR background, telling your story and developing content is key to any success. When you're able to tell your story at a local level, let's not forget a local level, it creates synergy within the community of who you are and what you are. And when you're able to tell it on a national level, it even expands more in order to carving out your own niche in the marketplace. So content development is very key in a marketing, but a lot of people shy away from marketing because it's a front-loading thing that you have to do. You have to put the money up front in in exchange for goods and services, increasing goods and services in the future. So a lot of people, especially when you're first starting out, that's the first budget that gets cut and the first thing that people shy away from. And I think another gap is getting your paperwork in order. I serve on the Community Board 3's Economic Development Committee, and one of the things that we saw going into post-COVID, and when the PPP was rampantly and going around, was a lot of businesses weren't able to apply for it because their businesses wasn't in order. They didn't do their taxes. They were living hand to mouth as far as their business practices was concerned. So they weren't able to take advantage of any of the grants and loans that were going around. So one of the things that we did, and I spoke with BNYC about too, was to put initiatives in place to help small businesses get their paperwork in order so that this would not be an issue moving forward.
Yes. Okay. And Delroy, did you want to add anything, or?
I want to echo both what Michelle and Keith just said, but I want to get down in the gutter for a minute. Just mention one key gap that a lot of us starting out for the first time in our businesses aren't always thinking about, and it is business literacy. A lot of us starting out as new entrepreneurs, we're either coming from a completely different field. We're used to working a 9 to 5. We get fed up and we decide we want to go into our own business now. So we launch a business without thinking about the big picture. How do I get the funding? Once I get started, how do I keep people coming in my door? How do I pay the bills? How do I stay afloat when things go bad? We need to educate ourselves, reach out, and that's where networking comes into play. Network with people in your trade or in your industry, friends, ask people, get help, get guidance, and all those good things. So this way you can develop some good sound principles on how to run your business and stay afloat.
I think mentorship, adding on to what Delroy was saying, mentorship is
absolutely
key.
That's key.
Exactly.
I agree.
Aligning to someone like Delroy or Michelle, who has a wealth of knowledge, and being able to just sit at their feet and gain some of the things that they've been through, because experience is a good teacher, and there's nothing like an experienced person to share with you some of the struggles that they went to in order to help you get to the next level that you are. So mentorship is key, in a missing gap in our communities as well.
And I might add, if there's anybody on right now that think they need some mentorship, one of the things that I, tell folks nowadays now, I'm not only in business, but I'm also in the business of helping people. So, if there's anybody who reaches out to me and, they seek out advice and, how to get a business started, how to tweak things in your business, how to scale it, I'm always here to help. And, I've helped countless number of people in the last few years.
Yeah, same here. Echoing Keith and Delroy, it is so important. I have a background in business from Baruch, and it's been very, very, very helpful having that knowledge. But there are still things that you don't know. You don't know what you don't know, right? So it's very good. We're lucky that we have free resources around us. So again, I mentioned SBS. Or we mentioned SBS, we mentioned Bond Street, New York City Business Solutions. You have like the Economic Local Development Corporations. There are so many free resources out there that not only can help you with certifications, but with business workshop classes, right? Account and finances, how to register your business. You can go to New York City Business Express and learn all of that. To what Keith is saying, you can register your business in less than 20 minutes online through New York City Business Express for $200 plus $50 if you want the certification copy. And then you have to do your publishing, and that's a different story. But you can get your business legalize your structure. You get your EIN from the IRS for free, and you do that simultaneously. And now your business is illegal, so that when these opportunities come about, you're not, worrying because you can't produce information. You can do your taxes with TurboTax. There are so many options out there to make sure that you have that very basic part of business in order. And it's super important. But yeah, I think that we just need to make sure that we not only network with each other and share resources, and people know, just like Del, you come into my shop and you have a question, I'll spit out 1,000 answers to you with, tools and resources and help you figure out how to move on. But aside from that, please, if you're a business that's looking to scale, look into the Goldman Sachs 10K SB program. It's been super beneficial to Delroy and I. And, we want to see, they're looking for more Black-owned and minority-owned, women-owned businesses. So I encourage people to look into that program. It's 12 weeks, and it's a great foundational learning, or even if you have some foundational learning, it'll even hone in your skills even more so. So just want to plug that there for you.
And they also help you scale on, if you're not meeting what the general levels are, you can still enter the program and it will help you scale to get to that level.
Yep.
And you don't have, I mean, Michelle and Delroy both have brick and mortars, but you can be a service provider as well.
Mm-hmm. You can be a service provider, you can be an online, boutique, not boutique, but you can be an online business. There are so many options.
Love it. Thank you all for those resources. And this has been amazing. So now we're going to take a little time for some audience questions here. So the first question is, I am transitioning into the PR industry. How can I connect with agencies to be mentored along the way?
I'll take that one. Basically, just reach out to some of the agencies. Let them know what it is that you want to do. Make sure that you have a general understanding of what PR is and what it is not. PR is basically a relationship-driven business, where you're basically leveraging your relationships with the media for your clients to get favorable PR. So, one of the key things that you must have is relationships with journalists. One of the things that I used to do, and a lot of my cohorts used to do, we would go, I do a lot of Black African-American media, and I'm not ashamed of being in that marketplace and being in that niche. But there's associations like the National Association of Black Journalists, where you can groom these relationships with journalists and be a part of them. A lot of PR people come there and just call some of the agencies and see what they have in mind, and what opportunities they have for you.
Okay. And then what was the name of the 12-week program again? Someone asked that.
Yeah, I just typed it in. So it's
Okay.
called Goldman Sachs 10K Small Business Program, the Goldman Sachs 10K SB.
Okay.
And then they also have a new one for Black and POC women that just came out. It's another 12-week program, and with the $2,000 stipend.
Love it. And then do you have to register annually for MWBE for your business?
No, your certification lasts anywhere from 5 to 10 years. I think I just got recertified last week. I believe it's a 5-year term limit per certification.
Okay. And then another question for Keith. Thanks for the information. Hi, Keith. Thanks for the information. Where can we go to leverage the services/resources to ensure that paperwork foundation of the business is done correctly and up to date?
There is a hotline number that I believe Jenna has shared on the web. You can call the SBS at that hotline number, and they'll be more than happy to assist you. And like Michelle mentioned, there's they have a PTAC program, which is procurement technical assistance, where you can actually get a one-on-one meeting with someone to discuss, discuss your application in the process as well. And the PTAC program is also, once you become certified, they'll assist you in filling out RFPs or filling out bids for particular agencies.
Okay, great. And it looks like we've reached the end of our time. I would like to thank the panelists for sharing their expertise and insights with us. I'm pretty sure people are wondering how can they connect with you or support you. So if each of you could share, how can people connect with you and support you?
You can
first.
connect. Oh, go ahead.
No, go, ladies first.
Oh, thank
Go ahead,
you.
Michelle.
Ladies
You
first.
can connect with me. I appreciate you, fellas. Thank you, gentlemen. You can connect with me at info@daspotnyc.com, the spot NYC, the spot, the Brooklyn way, or at the spot NYC. Or I have Cadore info@cadoreadvisorygroup.com. So I also do business consultancy and helping small businesses to grow and scale. And what was the other part of the question? Where can they connect with you and
Support.
support? Oh, support. Please come out this weekend. Okay. So this weekend we have the Black Creatives and Culture Market and Art Show in partnership with City Point. It will be in City Point and in Brooklyn studios. We are hosting 75 BIPOC creatives, 50 vendors from everything from fashion to art. We have an art gallery featuring 10 local artists, and we have an organic jam session that starts at 4 p.m., but DJ will be playing all day. And the organic jam session will have multiple musical performances. And this is a 2-day event. It's free for the community, and it's our way of expanding the platform, taking up space and showing off the culture. All right. So I hope to see you all this weekend.
Yes.
And you can support by shopping the spotnyc.com or coming in store. Thank you.
Real quick, you can contact me at keithlforrest@gmail.com. For information on New York Beauty Suites, you can contact us at info@nybeautysuites.com.
I like face-to-face, so you can reach me at the DeKalb Market Hall right downstairs from where Michelle is. That's 445 Albee Square West, downstairs. Michelle is upstairs, I'm downstairs. If you can't make it, I'm on Instagram at Likkle More Jerk. That's not Little, it's Likkle, morejerk.com. Or that's my website. My Instagram is at Likkle More Jerk. Thank you.
Thank you.
You want to get his jerkito burrito. It's
Yeah, the
amazing.
burrito is
That's our niche.
awesome. And my
Yes.
son goes once a month to get that jerk burrito. It's amazing.
Love it. Thank you all for sharing, and thank you to TD Bank as well for their ongoing support of the Make It in Brooklyn initiative. And finally, thank you to everyone who tuned in today, took some time out of your day to tune in and learn. And please sign up, as Jenna mentioned in the chat, for the Make It in Brooklyn newsletter, and follow DBP on Twitter and Instagram to find out more opportunities to engage with Brooklyn's innovation, leadership, and entrepreneurship community. Thank you, everyone, and enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you,
you.
everyone. Thank you to everyone participating. Truly appreciated from DBP.
Thank you for having us. Thank you. I just want to say, it's already done, but I would say if you're an entrepreneur, be sure to check out the Beauty Suites. They have a podcast studio and they have a photography studio there. So it's very helpful to small businesses that need content.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Thanks, Michelle.
No problem.
And
All right,
forget to
guys.
you can also catch Delroy's shop and be at what you call them too at Barclays as well.
Oh, yes. You didn't mention that.
Yes. No, I did not.
Yes, Barclays. He expanded. All right.
Bye, everyone.
Bye,
Bye,
guys.
Bye.